The Snooter Poots.
Snooter poot? What are they saying?
This trailer is the worst thing I've ever seen. Yep, I'm already back. A quick thank you though for all of the support that you guys gave me on the Lucky Luke video. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I don't normally make videos talking about bad trailers. Usually when I see one I just kind of go, yeah, whatever. But I saw the second Smurfs 2025 trailer today, and if I make a video about it, that should tell you how bad I think it is. This is the bad kids movie trailer of the 2000s, but amped up to 11. Badly edited pop music, how do you do fellow kids, jokes that don't even appeal to kids or adults.
Did you get my emails?
No, I blocked you.
Why?
I got tired of looking at pictures of your cat.
Here's a nice piece of shit.
It has every trope you expected. The fact that influencer Smurf is not in this trailer and yet it is somehow still ass should tell you how terrible this trailer is. Now I could just sit here and crap on the trailer for hours, but I feel like I could talk more on how things could have been different than just all of the bad things about this trailer. You know what? Screw it, I'm gonna mostly shit on it. Right away, 75% of this trailer I'm pretty sure is just saying Rihanna is Smurfette, who's a character played by Rihanna. Rihanna is the only celebrity worth mentioning in this trailer. All the other voice actors don't matter, they all suck, because Rihanna voices Smurfette. And it will also feature Rihanna songs, because Rihanna. At least they don't even show James Corden's name and I'm just laughing at that notion. Now, I'm mostly criticizing about how the marketing just solely depends on Rihanna. And to be fair, that is the only hype I've seen going for this film on a realistic level. But if I talk about Rihanna voicing Smurfette itself, it's actually only a small complaint on my part because I'm not a big Smurfs fan. I only read a few comics as a kid, so I'm not that attached to this franchise. And to be perfectly clear, I mean absolutely no disrespect to Rihanna. I believe she's very talented, and if I don't vibe with her music or listen to her often, that just comes from my personal taste in music. But when it comes to her voice acting, she sounds rather monotone and I just don't think that fits Smurfette very well. I simply think a feminine and energetic voice fits Smurfette way better. Say what you want about the previous Smurf movies, but Katy Perry and Demi Lovato fit Smurfette's personality better, especially Demi. Again, I just don't think Rihanna's voice acting is that great. Even going all the way back to the movie Home, it kind of shows. But for all I know, this could be a different interpretation of Smurfette where she sounds more monotone. Again, I'm not too picky on this. Maybe Rihanna could sound very feminine and I just never heard it or noticed it. Anyway, the whole casting marketing just feels like Zendaya is Michi but unironically. Trailer starts with Razamel, aka Gargamel's brother, presumably having a meeting with, I'm guessing must be, powerful wizard overlords, and he pitches the idea of capturing their Smurfs to dominate the whole universe. It's one of the least bad things about this trailer. It's still not good though. The whole evil world dominance thing just gets old at this point, and they could play it more as a joke, and they do, but it's not that funny.
Lame.
You're all lame.
Maybe this is not the full scene, but based on what we've seen from the marketing, I highly doubt there would be more to this. Them implementing pop music to Smurfs just feels like they want to be trolls so bad, which I'm sorry Paramount, but trying to be like trolls isn't exactly a sign of quality.
Why not? Why don't you play FNAF? Because FNAF killed my grandma, okay? I unsubscribed from MatPat. Now leave me alone.
Oh right, you don't care about that, you just want money. Okay, if box office is the main drive, then why are you putting this film in the same month as Superman, Fantastic Four and Jurassic World? Sounds like you're not very confident about it. Anyway, I'm not saying that putting pop music into Smurfs would never work, but that requires talent. The dance sequences just look okay, they don't seem all that exciting, they just look like every typical animated dance number ever. Look, I get it, it's a Smurfs film. I understand that a writer and director would look at a project like this and go, oh, do I really have to put effort into a fucking Smurfs movie? To that I say, yeah, it would be actually kinda cool if you did. I'm not asking you to do a crazy dance sequence like from Better Man. Okay, you know what? I actually am. Do something creative. Hell, an AMV-esque sequence with Smurfette and Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso would kind of go hard. Now the art style I actually like, it's even the most faithful to the comics out of all the 4 movies. But something about the animation just feels off, and it's mostly the facial animations. The best way I can describe this is by putting this specific clip and you can tell the similarities. The facial expressions just feel stiff and robotic. Comparing this to The Lost Village or even these 2D animated Sony shorts, the difference is monumental. It is so much more expressive. Moving on, we're greeted with...
What the Smurf?
Look, I know the line is terrible, I'll get back on that later, but here's the first big problem this trailer has, and it's false lip syncing. It's basically when you take a line from a character in a specific scene and then you put it in another scene that doesn't exactly match. A lot of trailers, especially animated ones, did this in the past, but did it sparingly.
You're all lame. You're all lame.
Hit it, Papa. Hit it, Papa.
Let me guess. The snooter poots.
Let's go smurf that wizard up.
What the Smurf?
Now that's what I call a banger.
Smurfs does it to an extent where almost every single line does not fit what the characters are saying. When you do it this much, and not to mention so obviously, people watching will notice it and be turned off by that. I don't believe there's even any merit to this technique, it's genuinely just bad editing. And speaking of bad editing comes my number 2 point, unnecessary cuts. And it has to do with the dialogues heard in this trailer. Just listen closely to these lines and you can tell that a small gap during the sentence between words have been cut.
What are they saying? If we don't stop these wizards, it'll mean the end of the universe.
It's like if I was saying, I don't have much standards, I'm generally attracted to women. Or, this is a very flawed trailer. Instead of just, I don't have much standards, I'm generally attracted to women. This is a very flawed trailer. And again, they do it multiple times to a point where it's noticeable and irritating. I'm pretty sure the intent was to attract the ADHD audience with short attention span, but the stuff those people watch wouldn't be edited like that. It'll just be someone talking but sped up instead of awkwardly cutting some tiny gaps in the sentence. This is why the ranking memes are funny to a lot of people. Again, it's just genuinely bad editing. On to my third point, trailer cliches. Now this has more to do with the movie itself than the trailer, but I'll start by saying that the narrator guy saying some cringe lines is, again, a very 2000s animated film trailer stick that feels extremely outdated. Not to mention the mid-dad joke put in the trailer. Whoever wrote this, you are not cooking. And one more thing about how terribly put this trailer feels is the reliance on jokes that I genuinely do not understand how anyone can find funny. I am convinced the writer is just lazy. There is no way. Look, for a movie like the Smurfs, it's understandable to have a comedic tone throughout the trailer, and if your job is to put together a trailer for a film that seemingly has a lot of terrible jokes, I can imagine how difficult that is. But the thing is, you can literally pick any other scene from the film that doesn't necessarily have to be funny, because almost every single joke shown in this trailer is painfully unfunny.
What the Smurf? I think I just smurfed my pants. Code blue! Let's go smurf that wizard up.
Oh, yeah.
What the Smurf?
Now that's what I call a banger.
What are they saying?
Also, why did you put What the Smurfs twice in this trailer? Did you think it was such peak writing that we'd react like this? And now something that is more on the movie's fault is the live action segments. People have strongly criticized about the 2 live action films. The reception here is once again negative. I have no idea what the motivation was to repeat this concept. I can almost guarantee that it's a choice made by the executives. And my final point, who is this movie for? Now the easiest answer would be for kids, cause just from the looks of it, it's easy to tell, or Rihanna fans, maybe even more. But kids aren't exactly into Smurfs that much in the year 2025. Adding a multiverse angle as a hook won't help.
Can we just be done with the whole multiverse thing? It's just been miss after miss after miss.
This is what kids are into now. So kids won't likely want to see this, teens and adults would find this cringe, Rihanna fans, maybe, cause she haven't made new music in years, but I'm pretty sure they would rather wait for the soundtrack to just drop online than to sit through an entire Smurfs movie. Putting the target audience aside, even talking purely about profit, this movie doesn't seem to be tracking well. This is not the case where you can make a recognizable IP movie with less effort than the original source material and still make bank because people see the brand and go watch it regardless. General audiences have always been more interested in remakes and sequels than original films. That's a sentence that triggers cinephiles. I don't like this either, but that's the truth. People love slops, money talks, and that's just it. But Smurfs is not that popular of a brand anymore. In order for a Smurfs movie to have success in the year 2025 would be word of mouth, which could happen if the movie is, well, good. And for all I know, it could very well be. Look, the movie hasn't released yet. If it ends up being good, I'll go see it and I'll be fine with being proven wrong. But because so much of the marketing just makes me and many others doubt the possibility of this film being even decent. It all boils down to how terrible the trailers are, and it is even way worse than the Transformers 1 trailers. This is an example of how to not make a trailer whether your film is good or bad, because your job was to make a good impression, which was not what happened. Smurfs is most likely one of those rare cases where you actually have to put effort into making an IP movie good so that the word of mouth can spread and people will go watch it. It's not a film where the IP and the main characters still hold so much appeal that people will go see it regardless just by hearing the name or seeing the poster. Also, the posters of this film are not the most creative thing ever. But I already ran out of things to talk about in this video. I got college to deal with. Thanks for watching.